Below the city lies a labyrinth of ancient tunnels and mass graves. Dangerous and largely unmapped.
Welcome back to Deep Dark Tunnel Diaries. This is episode 9, and I'm your host, Molly Trammell. I'm here with an artist named Young Leo, and we're here to talk about their song, Waste My Time With You. So what I liked about Waste My Time With You is that it spoke a melody that resonated really with pop, but reflected some of the beats you hear in trap music. It could also fall under the umbrella term hyperpop, which is characterized as a loosely defined music movement in the underground. How would you describe the sonic elements from Waste My Time With You?
So, with Waste My Time With You, it is kind of a step out of my comfort zone with the instrumental, where my instrumentals are usually more ambient, rap-based, and this one obviously has house elements right off the bat with the melody. It sounds like a pop song from, like, you know, the early 2000s, some synth chords that are really bouncy, but then the percussion is still the classic, like, plug, you know, trap sound with the hard 808s and stuff. And yeah, so then I just found it perfect to hop on because it was like so unique with the blend of these two things. It wasn't really something that I saw coming, and so when I heard the beat, I was like, I definitely need to, you know, make a mark on that, and that's kind of how the song came together.
So talking about these microgenres under hyperpop, where do you think you fall?
So as far as like within the hyperpop tree, there's definitely like a lot of people that are kind of on a similar side as me, where we're not necessarily on the pop, the more electronic like side, and more on like a rap side, but it still has a lot of electronic influence, specifically in the melodies. They're more like electronic and digital as opposed to like real instruments, and I feel like that's something that ends up grouping all of us together, and also the use of autotune. So I feel like those things make everything kind of, you know, be considered the same, but in reality we kind of lean towards like a more rap sound.
This is Stay True by Waifu on SoundCloud.
It's like ambient and digital, and it's less like, it's not like mainstream rap, so that's why it still kind of fits into this niche category, but it's not really pop or hyperpop. But with specifically Waste My Time With You, I did step into a more electronic pop type of sound, and that was perfect for this song, even though that's not necessarily exactly where I put myself in the spectrum. But like, shout out to everybody, because everybody kind of gets along within the hyperpop scene, even if they don't make exactly the same type of music, and sometimes they do end up making songs that are kind of crossovers that end up really sick too. So I think it is a good thing that there's a whole community of like-minded creatives that all kind of have a similar vision, but everybody kind of places themselves in the, you know, pockets and the cliques of like certain sounds.
And that plays into the fundamental movement of what started most of these microgenres circulating in the underground. What exactly is alternative trap?
So when it comes to like alternative trap, this has been a term that I actually picked up from, like, I heard it on one of Lucky's like old mixtapes, and that's not necessarily exactly what we're on, but at the time when he made that, it was just different than mainstream trap. It wasn't like Future or like, you know, anybody that was on the radio at the time. Even though he was rapping on the beat, it was just obviously different than normal trap, and he just put it as simply as possible: alternative trap. It's just alternative from the normal, but it's still trap. So that term kind of grew, and like artists like Lucky kind of got bigger, and a lot of other artists such as like the Plugg scene, like Summers, Isaiah TG, and other people in that type of part of the scene, like Hella Sketchy and other just people that were rapping, but it was different than mainstream. They never really called it alternative trap, it was just kind of underground rap. I see my stuff as rap, but it's different than normal, so I call it alternative trap.
Now playing Friends Again by Vinso on SoundCloud.
I think some of the specific qualities that distinguish it is like, so the percussion is not that. The percussion is very similar to normal trap. It's really the melodies that make the difference. The melodies are a lot more, they give you more of like a positive feeling almost, as opposed to like a dark feeling. A lot of them are more like ambient and blissful and lush, and they kind of massage, like, you know, they can be really like relaxing, and they can also be like, you know, intense and energetic, but they're just overall more like plush than a lot of mainstream rap melodies. But the drums are very inspired by mainstream rap, and that's kind of what gives it the bounce that still keeps it in the trap category. And I'm a big fan of that type of bounce personally, even though I'm not a big fan of mainstream trap. The bounce of rap music and the drums is definitely like, I still try to harness it. I am very influenced by it.
And when you say ambient, I feel like that word really fits your realm. I like the word ethereal when it comes to describing your aesthetic, and that's not necessarily just your music. This could also apply to other mediums as well.
So the whole ethereal concept is kind of this visualization of like a sanctuary type situation where it's like icy and just like kind of blurry and glowing and stuff like that.
Now playing Intro by Blade on SoundCloud.
And it's really like a whole atmosphere that I try to convey into the songs. And then further than that, that's when it becomes like a whole world deeper than just the music, where it's like the media, like photos and cover arts and, you know, clothes and a whole lifestyle that kind of goes with this ethereal ambient perspective that just kind of rests like in my mind. It's kind of just the default. Like when I think of what I want there to be, it's that. It's what doesn't exist that I kind of try to create, is this ethereal realm.
Now I feel more than ever, more underground artists are creating their art form as a form of escapism and fantasy. Whether it's through social media posts or, like you've mentioned before, their fashion, their persona, or their music videos. Is this something that resonates with you?
Yeah, I'm definitely aiming to kind of create a whole nother world where it doesn't even seem like I'm in the same, you know, plane as like the viewer when it comes to a music video or like a photo shoot. I'm trying to kind of, yeah, convey it like a whole different atmosphere, a whole different like base. You know, I'm not trying to like gatekeep that either. I'm kind of trying to shift the direction into this vision, this ethereal vision, and I want other people to embrace it too, and it kind of, you know, become like a shift in the rap and specifically the niche underground rap to kind of shift towards this ethereal, more angelic type sound.
And why do you think this is more relevant in the underground opposed to the mainstream?
I would say it really goes all out in the underground. I feel like most mainstream rappers portray themselves as, you know, a human, whether they have, you know, like a lot of nice clothes or like a nice car, they're like placed in, you know, a really like nice vacation spot. It's like, looks like earth, it looks like reality, you know what I mean? Even though it's glamorous. But when it comes to underground artists that come to mind like Blade, Cemetery, Echo 2K, Nasgov, kind of create a whole different air. Like it doesn't even seem like they're in reality. Like every single time you see them, it doesn't look like something that you've ever seen before.
Now playing Goes Nowhere by Nasgov, featuring Avast on SoundCloud.
They're a person too, and they're just creating all this with their art. They're controlling every single aspect of their media to align with this perspective, and then it becomes real, because that's what you see. And especially with the fact that social media is the main viewing source of all these like idols, this is kind of what you begin to believe. You know, you see their whole situation that they've created, and then that is their situation. It's not, you know, what they actually go through on a day-to-day basis. And I'm not necessarily trying to like escape with it and, you know, live in a delusion or anything like that. But it's really just the aesthetic. It's so cool. It's just like going all out with it is more, to me, that's just where I'm headed, is more being all out with it than kind of being like, yeah, I like do music on the side or something. It's really like more of a lifestyle thing.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the Deep Dark Tunnel with us. Where can we find you on social media?
YUNG Leo _A9 on everything, Twitter, Instagram, and you know, you can find me on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, and definitely got a lot of new stuff on the way. Got like some new singles that just dropped like a couple days ago, Die For Me, and that one's hype, definitely getting a lot of love so far. And album is on the way very soon. It might not be before 2022, but if anything, early next year. Next album. Not a lot of info yet, but you know, stay in touch on social media and all that will be like coming out very soon, and it's gonna be worth it. So yeah, thank you for having me.
This is Waste My Time With You by Young Leo. You can find the song on SoundCloud and all other streaming platforms. And that was Waste My Time With You by Young Leo. You can find them on SoundCloud or any other streaming platform. Are you an underground artist who wants to be featured on Deep Dark Tunnel Diaries? Follow us on Instagram for more information at Deep Dark Tunnel Radio.
Below the city lies a labyrinth of ancient tunnels and mass graves.